This is the Big Dane.
Rewind.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Big Dane podcast. I'm your host, Dana Trimborn, and this podcast is a random hodgepodge of topics that gets released on every Tuesday on, your preferred platform, of course. And I really enjoy sharing my personal stories and making those connections with you guys and just really being relatable, all in a fun and silly environment. Hey friends, in this episode, get ready because I am doing a Big Dane rewind of 2021 and I'll be sharing some of my favorite episodes throughout the year. And so you'll be able to hear some short snippets from 11 different episodes, which is wonderful. And to start off first, we're going to have a little listen from episode 40, You Do This, Right? And this episode, if you haven't had a listen, it's all kind of weird things that we all do. And I know we can definitely relate on this. All right, let's go. So I was asking Matt, so is there anything kind of random you do or kind of think or what? And, because it's obviously we all have our weird things and we know, with living together, we know how weird we can get. So that's that. But then it's when you're alone, when we don't see each other, what are you doing? So he's yeah, so when I go on my walks, he's I talk to myself. I was oh, okay, yeah, I do that too. And he's no, I talk to myself. He's probably gonna hate me for saying this, but so he said that he talks to himself out loud. Yeah. So to me that's oh. And I gave this really funny face when he was telling me that. And he's your face. I was well, why are you talking out loud? All right, well, what'd you think? I mean, you can relate, right? I mean, if you do enjoy walking. All right, so I'm going to have another quick snippet of this episode as well. I just felt I needed to do two in this one since they're all interesting things that I think we're all thinking. So, and if it's just me, then you know what? That's all right. All right. Let's listen. When maybe you're walking around or driving or whatever, I feel for me, it's more when I'm walking because, you're really internalizing and you're thinking of a lot of things. And because sometimes I'll, wear headphones, sometimes I don't. And, if I want to listen to a podcast or something. But it's you see so many sheds in the back of people's homes, right? And some look very nice, some don't look very nice and kind of disheveled and so I always think, and this is me again just watching and reading too many murder shows and books and mystery and all that, but I think I'm wow, this shed looks like shit. Is anyone held hostage in there or what's happening, And so I think back to that movie Room. If anyone has seen it, I read the book as well back when I was in a book club, which I'm no longer in. We kind of just stopped. But but yeah, like just from reading and watching that, it starts to make you think like, wow, like this could be happening like right in our neighborhood or town or wherever. And it's just like kind of scary to think about. I mean, and sure, like probably the ones that you don't think that look very nice, like, well, what do they really have in there? It's not just rakes and a lawnmower, but what else are they hiding? Yeah. And then, kind of tying in with that too, on a lighter note, I kind of think about how people decorate their homes, and I just want to like see and like, wow, so like what does the inside of your house look like? All right, so how many people did I get? You raising your hand because you think like that too? So it's not just me? All right, cool beans. All right, we're gonna get into the next episode 41, You Deserve It, all about treating yourself and what you really like to do for yourself. All right, so let's rewind to this episode. To get a facial just to see what that's like. I have gotten one before in general, actually probably only a total of like 2 times my entire life. They feel really nice. Yeah, I will say the one time went with my sister-in-law and our friend. This was like maybe like last year. Yeah. Or 2 years ago rather, maybe. I don't know. So, but I treated her for her birthday, and I got a facial, and there was just like at one point I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like, just because like they wrap the damp towel around your face, and like maybe one nostril's like trying to hang out, like, hello, like I can't breathe, but like you can't panic because then you'll really freak yourself out. But that's just been my experience. Also, on the weekend, maybe I'll get like a fancy coffee, maybe like a latte, although I haven't been good with that, and now have been getting like during the week because I just saw, the Shack in the Back in Conchi just opened, so I was like, oh, I gotta try their lattes, see if, how they are, but usually I'll stick it, to the weekend, maybe a Saturday or something like that, and, just get a little specialty coffee. Why not? Because during the week, I always make it here at my home, and been using my amazing French press, that I got from Santa. So it's been pretty fabulous, and it works wonders. Also, this is another huge one for me. The balayage highlights. Yeah. So if you're wondering what I'm saying, when you look at it on a piece of paper, it might look like balayage. Balayage, kind of like Balakinwood. This is balayage. But really it's balayage. Just say bally. And then balayage, not biolage, no, balayage highlights. So who else is getting some highlights done for our Treat Yourself? Yeah. All right. Wonderful. So now let's get into one of my favorite episodes, and it is one of the most top downloaded ones as well. Episode 43. Leave the bar after 15 minutes. And so in this episode, when you listen to the full thing of it, I get into a couple of my dating stories back when I was single. So you'll get to have a listen here of something that happened to me. All right, let's do it. And yeah, we were going to meet at Boathouse because where else are we going to go? No, I mean, there are other places, but it happened to be the same place. And I'm pretty sure I had like confirmed with him just because I didn't hear anything, and it like a couple of days went by. So I just like wanted to make sure like, hey, are we still on, or like, what are we doing? Right. And yeah, so I got in there, on time. I'm usually like always on time. That's just kind of, who I am, how I grew up. Like, you need to be like on time for stuff. So, and then I'm like, I'm just gonna get a beer, just wait a little, maybe it's parking. Yeah. So I get a beer, get a draft, and hanging out, I'm kind of near the section where they have like the games like in the front, like the darts or whatever. Pretty sure there's darts there, yeah. So I'm just like waiting, just kind of like looking around. Now I'm like just people watching. Now I'm like looking at my watch. I'm like, all right, it's 7:10 and we were gonna meet at 7. So I'm like, all right. And I kept like checking the app because we didn't exchange numbers, I don't think, because we had just met. So I was just like, okay, I'll just like meet you there, whatever. So now, I don't know, it's just like when you're waiting, you start to get a feeling, and even kind of leading up to that point, just not having that confirmation. I was like, oh yeah, like, hey, we'll meet there at 7. And I'm pretty sure he also, wasn't far away, like was just like in Villanova, so it doesn't really take that long to get here. So car trouble, I don't believe it. So now it's 7:15 and I thought, he's not coming. He's not showing up. This idiot. And I just chugged the rest of my beer and I called up my friend Paige because I knew they were at a friend's house just hanging out. So I'm like, well, looks like I'm going there to hang out and enjoy the night and not like freaking get stood up. Like, come on, at least have the courtesy to say, hey, like, I actually don't want to meet up for whatever reason. But to just not show up at all, it's a pretty dick move, don't you think? Pretty dick move. How many people are now saying, yes, I've been stood up too? Yep, I hear you. It's not cool. Not cool. I don't know what the deal is. Like, you can't just let me know instead of not showing up. Anyway, you get the idea here. So now, this next episode, I know I'm still in the 40s here. I had so many to choose from. I just couldn't decide. So we are going to get into episode 49, Food Shop. And guys, this was a fun episode. Just, our experiences at the grocery store and really like what goes on, like what's going on in your mind when you see other people shopping and checking out and everything. All right, so let's get into it. By the time you kind of finish everything up, you look at your list. I also feel like I've looked at my list and I'm like, man, I gotta go back to get this one item. Or now I'm like back getting my cold cuts, right? Because now they're like, hey, yo, number 137, your pickup is ready. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm 137. Gotta go cart back. So you're carting back, finally get all your meats and cheeses. Got your hoagie rolls maybe, right? And so now you got everything. Wow, you did it. Congratulations. So now you're finally like getting down and, making your way to the checkout, kind of like dodging people and Marty and then maybe you see like Sally and Jerry that you saw like on your way to the store and now they're checking out too. How funny is that? Too much. But I feel like sometimes I have to dodge people, when I'm like getting to the checkout, because especially now with the line, so you have to, so much space for like in between everyone, and then people are just popping out of nowhere, or then you think you're in line and then really like there's 5 other people that are in line that are now like waiting like in the aisle because shit's crazy. Yeah. So now you kind of get up there and, you're getting ready to put your stuff on, but the person in front of you, they're still like unloading. So now you get to really see, what kind of person is Sally? What kind of person is Jerry, right? Yeah. All right, we're breaking because I want to tell you about my new coffee membership tiers that I'm offering to you amazing listeners. Yes, essentially a place for all exclusive content that will not be on my Instagram and Facebook. These tiers are going to offer you from sneak peeks of the next episode, uncut audio clips that won't be on the regular episodes, so we've got some juicy content there, and merch discounts. And that's just the beginning of this all, right? So check it out for yourself. You can go and find these 3 tiers when you click on my link tree in my Instagram bio at the Big Dane podcast. Boom, click on that, and I'm making super easy for you because it's the first one on there, the coffee cup icon. See which one fits you the best. They unload like all this crap, microwavable shit. You don't see any fruits, you don't see any vegetables. And you think like, what are you doing? All right, how are we feeling? Yeah, pretty good. Okay, we're gonna keep moving here, my friends. So episode 53 is next. We're getting into the 50s. Okay, and this is called Insomnia. No, not the cookies. And in this episode, I really just cover about sleeping when you're not able to sleep, and if you're sleeping to someone next to you and how that works out, or if it doesn't. Okay, so let's rewind to that. I have my eyes shut, but you're awake. And so now I'm like, I hear him breathing, just like a little bit. But I was also thinking about like, because he fell asleep so quickly and learned from my Aura Health Fitness ring that I wear now, instead of my Fitbit got a little old, was on its last leg, so yeah, stepped it up. So yeah, I learned that it's really not good if you do fall asleep that quickly, because it could be a sign of overtiredness. Yeah. So, I mean, right off the bat, I'm winning because I'm still awake, guys. I'm still awake. I know. But yeah, so now it's like I kind of hear him breathing like a little bit, which, all right, it's not too bad. Like, maybe I can get through this. Maybe it's manageable, right? And then, just to kind of distract my thoughts a little bit, I try to think of something like cute and cuddly and soft. And so for that reason, I think of my cat, Moo. And usually that has been helping, but that doesn't always do the trick, guys. Doesn't always help. So now it's like I'm still awake, spoke too soon. Now it's like 20 minutes in here. And now he's like breathing so loud. It's like, and then occasionally like a, oh my God, I almost just choked. I guess that's what I get. But it's like a little snort, like, little piggy, just occasional. But then it's back to like the heavy breathing, like, I'm like, well, who can sleep next to this person? Who? And so now at this point, I'm just annoyed because now I'm still awake and I cannot fall asleep. And sure, yeah, sometimes it is like the breathing that's happening. And I even actually thought too, like, isn't there something like, I think it's called something specific where like there's people out there that just hate the sound of people breathing. Yeah. Even like just me like sitting here. And then I thought, oh my God, am I that person? All right. So, anyone else having trouble sleeping lately? Yes, no? Who knows? So, next episode we're getting into here is episode 54, Level Up Your Confidence. And this was a fun one. One of my best friends joined me on this episode. We had such a great time doing this and just, really speaking from really what we believe in as far as confidence and what other people can be doing, and just recognizing that just focus on yourself. Don't worry about anyone else. And just knowing that you are amazing and just all these good things. So listen to this short clip and here we go.
Back at where you started and what you were doing and the mistakes you made, and see how far you've come as a professional, and as a friend, and as yourself. And it's good to self-reflect.
Definitely. I mean, I feel like if you aren't doing that, then go jump out a window. Not kidding.
You're not learning.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Then you are learning. You're kind of just stagnant.
Yeah, like you said, you have to have a drive at your job. Otherwise, why are you working there?
Yeah, find somewhere else.
Yeah, do something else. Who cares? Whatever.
I mean, what else are you guys doing to, feel confident?
Yeah, what else are we doing to feel confident? You talking to yourself in the mirror. That's a big one. Journaling, self-affirmations, right? I think that's the TikTok that's going around is I'm healthy, I'm wealthy. I feel like I'm just quoting what I see on TikTok. Yeah, give yourself your daily affirmations. Talk to yourself positively. And oh my God, love yourself.
Yeah.
Why did we spend our first, half of our life, or at least our early 20s, hating ourselves?
I blame the magazines. Cosmopolitan.
I blame Gossip Girl. No, I'm kidding.
But yeah, it's kind of like you see everything looks perfect, but that's not real.
No, it's not real.
Have you looked at your friends and yourself and your family, your everyone, your neighbors, of what they look like
and how they carry themselves. It doesn't have to be physical. How they carry themselves. How do they speak? How do they talk about something that drives their passion? What are their mannerisms? What are they doing?
How was it? Yeah, I mean, if you're feeling down and you need a pick-me-up and just a little boost of confidence for yourself, go ahead, listen to the full episode. It was truly a lot of fun, and we really try to put ourselves in other people's shoes and really reflect on that. All right, so let's get into episode 56, my friends. Working 5 days too long. I mean, yeah, we all just work. Everyone has a different profession, but we all feel like we're in the same boat. And when is that going to come down? Is that going to come down ever? Well, here's a little listen to this episode. So, but yeah, how long can we wait? We'll probably be dead, but hey, this is an idea. So just keep telling people, so then the next round of people in society, they'll get it, and then it'll be golden. We'll be looking down, or wherever you're looking, maybe you're coming back out as a bird. I don't know. But all these robots, they're coming in and they're coming in hot. How much longer are we going to actually work before they just kind of take over your job, and now they're just upstairs typing away on the computer? I mean, because that's where my desk is. It's upstairs. So that's an idea. Or this is actually pretty cool. What if I could clone myself just for work? Ooh. And they've like, I've heard this like years ago where like, oh, I cloned my cat, or like, you know, they can do it, but it's like, well, how do you, like, this is a human. This is not like an animal. This is not an ant or a mouse that we're doing all these testings on. But can you imagine if I had myself upstairs working, and maybe it's like a clone myself slash like hologram, so I'm like kind of like floating, but you know, my clone is downloaded, they downloaded my brain, you know, so they're up to speed of what's happening at work. Wow. Yeah, how cool would that be? So now the days of the week doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because my clone will just be there, setting up calls, leading calls, doing some fancy Excel shit, making some charts in a PowerPoint, okay, dropping in files to folders. And what would I be doing? This is what I'd be doing. Podcasting, traveling, just doing things that like I really enjoy. Yeah. What I'm saying is that, or what I was describing, that's what twins do, right? Because if you have an identical twin, then just work for the same company, and then, I'm gonna go run out for like all day, you know, maybe like have like 1 or 5 glasses of wine, lunch, and you know, sunbathe a little bit, and I'll be back. So can you just, you know, just keep an eye on my work? Hey, I mean, if you're working remote, maybe. Do you think people do that? If they work for the same company? Yeah. All right, we're jumping right into the 60s here. Episode 62, The Midnight Blue Car. And friends, these are a couple experiences that I had with my old 95 Camry, and I had this up at school periodically. And so in this short clip, you'll get to experience what went on Halloween back in 2011. So let's rewind to almost like 10 years ago, my friends. Holy moly. Let's listen. So when I was at school up in Providence, it was Halloween weekend 2011. We're about to throw down, right? Friends are over. We're pre-gaming. We're about to go to this party, okay? But the weather was terrible because it was snowing. Yeah. Okay, yes, New England does get pretty cold. But I do remember when I was speaking with my mom that it was cold here in Philly too. So it wasn't just like, oh, you guys are just so cold, like whatever, like where do you even live? No. So both, you know, basically the Northeast are just so cold, right? And yeah. So my friends, we're getting ready to go. We're taking our last drinks of vodka and whatnot, because that's what we drank. Mixed drinks and just, you know, had a heavy pour. So we're all gonna go get in my car because normally we would probably walk, although it's like pretty far, and Ubers and Lyfts didn't exist then, and a cab would take 10 years. So what we did was my friend was gonna drive. So my friend was gonna drive because she wasn't really drinking. And when I mean wasn't really drinking, she probably had one drink. Okay, so no one is driving drunk here. Okay, like no. And so we go down the stairs and we get outside and we're all freezing our asses off. And I can just see that the car is just frozen. It's frozen. So I'm like, let me And I remember I was trying to open the driver door because it was a coupe, right? I had to let the seat down. So I wanted to make sure like my friends like knew like, hey, like you have to like go in this way. So, okay. So I am literally like trying to open this door. It's just like not happening. It's not happening. And I thought, shit, like, we're trying to get to this party, like, what are we gonna do? And so a couple of my friends are like trying to open it, it's like not working. And I feel like what I should have done and didn't think of it because I was like drinking is probably to get like hot water just to pour over, right? As long as it's not boiling, just so you could actually like open the door. What I didn't try was the other door, just to let the other door, meaning the passenger door, to have some of my friends get in the back. That's what I didn't do because I thought, oh, well, it's no problem. I'll just like open the door. It's like not a big deal. And so now I'm trying again. I'm trying to open this door and I am yanking on the door handle. Literally yanking on it. I am pulling with like all my energy. This door was so difficult to open. And before I know it, like I was pulling on it so hard that now the door handle is in my hand. I felt like I had to do a double take. What did I just do? And then I thought, oh my God, my dad is going to kill me. But he's 5 hours away, so it's all good, right? Oh my gosh. So has anything random like that, has that happened to you with an old car that you might have had, or maybe something different that you would like to share? Please let me know. I would love to hear it. And now, sticking in the 60s here, we're getting into episode 68, fall hair trends. And this episode I think has been my all-time favorite. My hairstylist came on and, she was able to give us the lowdown on all the trends going on for the fall. And really, these kind of shift right into the winter too. So don't be afraid to try these things for the winter. But her and I, we laughed so much. I think almost the entire episode. Like, it was a blast. So let's have a listen, and I'm hoping you'll be laughing as well. Take a chance.
Take a chance.
Take a chance. Get the bronze.
Get the bronze. Get the 50 Shades of Beige.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Okay, the last one on here for some trends.
Oh my God.
I forget where Matt was, but he's like, I saw some like young kid with a mullet. I was like, what do you mean you saw some?
A guy?
Yeah.
It's all the Brads and the Chads that have the mullets.
And I'm like, why do you think that looks good?
It's like,
how was this even a thing back then? I don't know.
So what they are calling it now is the mullet. So they're making the
Sounds
T
fancy.
silent. And I actually
That
was
is
funny.
so good. The mullet.
Literally, like, I remember I have two stories. So I went to Miami, and I went for like, it was such an honor to go. We're a Redken elite salon. We're a black elite salon.
Okay.
So we're like VIPs, which is pretty cool. And we got invited, and there were only like 4 of us that got to go because it was like the 4 highest level stylists. Which was awesome.
Cheers.
No big deal.
No, that's really cool though.
But we sat in a class, and they dead seriously started saying the mullet.
Oh my God. How did you not laugh?
I did. I looked at my friends, and we all looked at each other, and we're like, what the actual fuck? Like, what is going on? Like,
you mean the mullet? Do you mean the mullet?
Yeah, do you mean the mullet? Like, business in the front, party in the back, because I'm not doing it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so that's, I feel like Miley Cyrus. I showed you Demi Lovato.
Yeah.
It's
Her
like,
hair is real short. Was it I couldn't see from the angle.
It's a
but
mullet.
It's a mullet.
hers is like a short mullet.
Oh my gosh.
I just feel like it's one of those things that it shouldn't come back, but it did. I don't know why.
I'm really envisioning right now every single person I know with a mullet.
I know. Could you imagine? Yo, my dad used to have like the most poppin' mullet ever.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
jet
my-
black,
Oh.
fluffy.
Yeah.
He was killing it. Yeah,
Let
he
me
was
run my fingers through my mullet.
my mullet.
So you're gonna go get a mullet now? No, please don't do that. If you have a mullet story, please do share. All right, so now we have wrapped up the 60s. We're getting into the final two clips here. And this one, I had another guest on, my sister-in-law, Abby Trimborn, who is also a realtor. And this episode was episode 73, so pretty recent. And it was called, What's Your Next Move? And her and I really get into all the experiences with moving, how she moved 19 times. Oh my gosh, I know. So here's a little short clip for you. All right, let's rewind.
Yeah, so like every Michigander. Okay, for those of you that don't know anything about Michigan, what you do is literally just lift your hand up, right, and put it in front of your face, and it looks your hand.
So
that is Michigan.
Palm down.
Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Or I guess you could do palm
Michigan
up, but
is
yeah.
a mitten.
But I do this
and
way, yeah.
Yeah, you just look at your
You can
hand.
see your fingernails. Yeah.
And so that's one thing I learned about being in Michigan is people will be like, let me show you where I live, and they lift their hand up and then they point at it, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what's going on here?
What is
So dumb. But it works, right? Like we don't have that in PA. We're not like, oh, look at my
look at my two hands. This is there's Pittsburgh in my left hand. Here's Philly in my right hand.
like,
Like, no,
they're not
that
cool enough
doesn't
to do
happen.
that. Yeah.
Wait, quick story. So, I think the first time that I had experienced that, we were in the Dominican Republic. Why do I remember this? Because this
But
guy,
you and your family?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
This guy looked like Bill Murray. Wasn't Bill Murray. And he was like, yeah, we're from Michigan. And
He pulled his thumb out.
he pulled up his hand.
Yes.
He's like, and we're like, he like curled his thumb. And I'm like, what are you doing with your thumb right now?
In case you weren't like.
And then he's
hold
like,
on.
yeah, we're like right there. He's like, just literally like, basically it's like Detroit, like right there. And I think that was the first experience I had. All right, did we catch anyone from Michigan? Anyone? Has anyone had a similar experience? I mean, how could you not? But I guess if you don't travel much, you may not have that quite same experience. Am I right? All right, so the last final clip here for you is episode 75. This was on holiday gift experiences, and my boyfriend, Matt Warnock, did join me on this one. Had so much fun as always. And let's have a listen to what kind of things go on during the holidays with receiving gifts, giving gifts. What is that like? What are people doing and thinking? So here we go. Rewind.
I mean, there's definitely like those people out there that I've met and like talked to. I kind of used to be one of those people, but now I love getting candles.
I love candles.
But like, yeah, like before I used to hate like getting candles, and like I didn't want them. I never would like burn them. And I just thought like giving them as a gift was like either cliche or just like kind of like you're copping out of like thinking about a good gift.
I wouldn't say, at least I wouldn't think cliche, but I would think low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit.
That's definitely a better descriptor.
Like, you're not really thinking about what to get this person. because maybe this person doesn't mean a lot to you, and so it's like, well, I don't know what to get this person. Want to get a candle?
Yeah.
Sure, I guess it smells nice. And then you hope that they don't have the same candle.
I mean, I personally, if I got the same candle twice, that just means it'll burn longer, essentially. So.
If I got, actually, this happened from, oh my gosh, your family just loves to duplicate things. I love it. No. So maybe it was 2 years ago, and I had said in conversation, and I love this because it means people are paying attention to what I'm saying to them. But it wasn't even like, oh, well, I really want this for Christmas and blah, blah. It was more of a conversation that just kind of came up, and how I love the scent of a pine tree. The balsam, what is it called? Balsam cedar? What did we just recycle? Because now the candle's done. It's like balsam tree or something like that.
It's
you guys know what
it's
I'm
a tree.
I love it. I think it's so refreshing. Oh, I think another one is called like Christmas wreath, but all the same idea. But I had told that to your mom, and I think maybe your sister had been there too. And then I thought it was great because then for Christmas, I got 2 candles of that. I was like, wow, this is so great. This is amazing. Now I got 2 because I really love it.
In that instance, it's a good gift.
Okay, friends, be sure to listen on your preferred platform. Go to my Instagram or Facebook at the Big Dane Podcast and tap on the link tree within my account to find your favorite way to listen. If you truly enjoyed it, stay on the link tree and tap on leave a review. And you'll notice this link tree has other exciting areas to check out, like the coffee memberships that I spoke about with all exclusive content. A merch section is there because, yes, I have merch waiting for you. And of course, feel free to contact me with any feedback or other topics of interest, which you'll see is the last section of the Linktree platform. All right, see you next week.